Hey guys, today we're reacting to her story. Over here. Today we're reacting to her story, guys. Yeah. We're reacting to her story.
The kid from next door stepped on the gas pedal of his white truck and rammed straight through my dad's fruit produce stand. Fruit and wood went flying across the lot, but none of us were surprised. You see, my dad built that stand the year my daughter was born, and every year the kid would come and smash it. We tried to stop it by standing in front of the truck, but it never worked. But the stand only cost $200 to rebuild, so all three of us rebuilt it together every year. But everything changed when my dad got sick. The last time he came to see the stand, he was so sick he could barely stand, and he was leaning on my arm. I guided him to sit in a folding chair, and he watched my daughter drive the nails in herself. He passed away 3 weeks later. After the funeral, my daughter climbed up on a milk crate with a paintbrush and wrote Grandpa across the top board, one shaky letter at a time. The next morning, I heard the boy coming again. I screamed, "Please, no! My dad is dead now, and this is all we have left of him." But he smirked, stepped on the gas pedal, and floored it. Boards went flying. He stuck his head out the window. "Build it stronger next time." My daughter watched her grandpa's name skid across the pavement. Enough was enough. That night, I drove to the hardware store. I came out with a 5-gallon bucket, a bag of quick-set concrete mix, and a steel pipe. I spent all night pouring concrete into a bucket, sticking a strong steel post in it, and letting it dry for a week. Then, me and my daughter built the wooden stand around this super strong base. She climbed back up on the milk crate and painted Grandpa across the top board again. We sat on the curb across the lot and waited. That afternoon, the kid came in his truck. The truck swung wide, lined up, and floored it. But as soon as he hit the produce stand, the smirk was wiped off his face. His truck crashed into the cement. The glass of his windows cracked, and the truck started folding in on itself. Steam rose from the hood. The kid kicked his door open and stumbled out, staring at the bumper crumpled around the steel post. The wooden boards had splintered off around the base. Grandpa was still painted across the top, untouched. My daughter looked at the kid. "We took your advice and built it stronger." The kid from next door. I surprised my best friend with a birthday cake. "Happy birthday!" Faye slapped me across the face. "You're the worst friend I've ever had." I held my cheek in shock, wondering why she would say that. "If it wasn't for you, everyone would love me. But because you always whisper bad things about me in people's ears after I talk to them, they don't like me. It's not fair. I'm going through a lot right now." I was extremely sad because I hadn't been talking bad about her. You see, whenever Faye spoke, she was extremely rude. So I would whisper in people's ears about how she was going through a lot and convince them to forgive her. And instead of thanking me, she was getting mad at me. Okay, I won't whisper in people's ears anymore. She was about to find out exactly how many people hated her. As everyone arrived at Faye's party, I watched Faye walk up to a girl in our class and start pinching her skin. Wow, I've never seen a girl with so many fat rolls wear a dress so tight. I love your confidence. Usually, I would swoop in and remind everyone that Faye was going through a lot and needed forgiveness. But now I was just watching it happen. Our classmate looked disgusted and walked away to talk shut about her at her own party. I saw her talking to someone else. No offense, but I don't even blame your ex-boyfriend for cheating on you. You're chopped and you don't even go to the gym. What did you expect? Every single person in the room grabbed their things to leave. Faye stuttered. "Wait, where are you guys going?" They all left. It was even go to the gym. What did you expect? Every single person in the room grabbed their things to leave. Faye stuttered. "Wait, where are you guys going?" They all left. It was just me and her. She turned to me. "What just happened? Why did they all leave?" "Every time you say something terrible, I'm the one whispering to your friends to convince them to forgive you." Her face went white. "By the way, Faye, you're not going through a lot. You're just a bitch." I surprised my best friend with a birthday cake. A seagull ripped my sandwich out of my hands mid-bite, and when it landed on the boardwalk, I swear I saw it smiling at me. I clenched my fists because I hadn't eaten all day just to save room for it. I jabbed a finger at him. "You just started a war." The next day, I came back to the same bench with a newly made, fresh, impeccable sandwich. I opened up the foil and took a whiff of my creation. Beautiful. But as soon as I took a bite into the sandwichy goodness, my arch nemesis snatched the whole thing. I jolted up to give him the finger, and he pooped on my coat. I wiped it off with one napkin. Oh, it's on. That night, I stood at my kitchen counter and built the most beautiful sandwich of my life. Turkey stacked high, fresh red tomatoes in the middle, and extra mayo on both slices. I folded one special ingredient into the middle, wrapped it up, and held it to the sky like a soldier raising his knife before war. The next morning, I sat on the same bench, held the sandwich up, and unwrapped the foil slowly. Wow, I cannot wait to eat this beautiful sandwich. It would be such a shame if a flying creature stole it and ate it. 3 seconds later, my enemy took the bait, ripped it from my hand, and flew it straight to his crew on the pier to show off. The second his beak tore the bread open, the whole thing exploded into a cloud of pink glitter. It blasted his face, his wings, and every friend next to him, and the mayo made sure it was glued to every feather. He'd finally stolen the one sandwich I made just for him. His crew started squawking, all extremely angry because he'd gotten glitter on all of them. The biggest one reared back and smacked him clean across the head with a wing. I pulled my real sandwich out of my bag, took a huge bite, and this time I was the one smiling at him. My foster mom carried out a 3-tier birthday cake and cut me a massive slice in front of everyone. Eat up, birthday girl. I lifted the plate and smelled it immediately. Almonds. I can't eat this. It has nuts in it and I'm allergic. Her smile stayed on her face, but her eyes went cold. You're going to eat this cake because I made it for you. I tried to explain, but she cut me off. You're not allergic. You're just trying to get attention because that's what foster kids do. Everyone went silent and stared at me, waiting to see what I would do next. I put the plate down on the table. My allergy is highlighted in all of my paperwork. She threw up her hands. I threw you this nice party and you want to stand there and embarrass me in front of our guests? I laughed. You threw this party for you, not me. This is all just so you can post on social media about what a great foster mom you are. The yard went quiet and she started shaking with anger. I took you in when nobody else wanted you, so you need to respect me. You only took me in so people would think you were a good person. She got in my face and lowered her voice. Be grateful I took you in at all, considering how worthless you are. I decided right then I was going to show her how grateful I was. I pulled out my phone and called 911. I need an ambulance. My foster mom is forcing me to eat a cake I'm allergic to. I hung up and smiled sweetly at my foster mom. Then I picked up my fork and took a massive bite of the cake. You suck, but you make a good cake at least. My throat started swelling and everything went muffled. My foster mom stomped her foot. Stop it, you're ruining my party. I heard sirens and the paramedics pushed through the chaos and jabbed an EpiPen into my thigh. A CPS worker came that night and when they saw my allergy was on all the documents my foster mom had signed, they took me and her license away so she would never be allowed to foster again. My foster mom. I was picking up the dirty dishes in my daughter's room when I saw the note on top of the food. I'm sorry, Mom. My heart pounded because I didn't know what she meant. I turned the note over. I'm done fighting. That's when I noticed her leukemia medication pill bottles were missing. Had my daughter taken her own life? I knew I needed to find her, so I grabbed the drawing pad she left the note in, and I immediately ran to my car. But where was she? I tried driving to her school and drove 50 miles over the speed limit. But when I arrived, the school was already closed. Everyone had left. I started to cry because I didn't know if my daughter was dead or alive. I decided to pick up the notebook and flick through the pages to look for clues. On the third page, there was an elaborate drawing of a bridge nearby. Is that where she was? I turned the car around and drove to the bridge. When I got there, I saw her on the sidewalk leaning against the guardrail of the bridge. Eleanor! I screamed as I ran over. Eleanor turned around to me as I hugged her tightly. Mom, what are you doing here? I rubbed my hand down her back and started crying with relief. Eleanor, what are you doing here? Were you planning on ending your life? Eleanor pulled back slightly. Mom, no, I was here to toss my leukemia medicine into the lake. I was extremely confused because I didn't expect this answer, and I still didn't understand what was going on. But why? You need them, Eleanor. Eleanor just smiled up at me. Because the doctor called. I'm in cancer remission. I left the note behind because this was something I had to do by myself. I thought you wanted to end your life. She shook her head. Hell no. Nothing can take me out. The shock and relief made me pull her back into my arms and squeeze tightly. Food supply planes finally flew over our town in Syria, and me and my big brother were counting stars when I asked, for my 6th birthday, can you take the glowy stars outside and put them in my room? He weakly reached his arm out and coughed. I'll make you a deal. If you can sleep with the lights off and stop being scared of the dark, then I'll build it. Mom called from the porch. Justin, come inside. It's time to take your medicine. He flicked my forehead and jumped down. Get practicing, bug. I shot up, ready to do anything to make this happen. That night, I dragged my blanket into the closet to practice. But as soon as I turned off my flashlight, I saw the coat hangers come to life. So I ran out and knocked down Justin's door. Justin, can you sleep on the floor with me? He agreed and grabbed his cane to walk to my room. And in the morning, I shook him awake. So now you build the sky, right? He smiled with his eyes half shut. Yeah, bug, when I've got time. For months, I'd run to my room looking for stars on my ceiling, but they were never there. Eventually, I thought he didn't care anymore, until one night in January, when my hallway flashed with red and blue lights. The paramedics carried Justin down the stairs, and nobody would look at me. Mommy, what's going on? She blinked back her tears. Your brother's in a special place now, honey. A week later, I was sleeping in his bed when my mom knocked. Follow me to your room. I pushed my door open, and my whole ceiling was stars, hundreds packed edge to edge, with one bare gap dead center. My legs went weak. My mom smiled weakly. Me and him snuck up here for months while you were at school. He finished it 2 weeks ago and was saving it for your birthday. I know he would have wanted me to show you. I pointed at the middle. He didn't get to finish it. My mom shook her head. He did, and she opened her fist around one last star. He said the middle one's yours, bug. He said you're the bit that finishes it. I climbed on my bed and pressed it into the gap, and his deal finally made sense because the stars needed the dark to glow, and that was the darkest time of my life. I flicked the switch off, and the whole ceiling lit up green over me. That night, I slept with the lights off, all by myself. Me and my son left his phone behind, and as soon as I grabbed it, he got a text. I got the rope and duct tape. The van is ready. She won't see it coming. My heart started slamming because my son was at his crush's house, so I kept scrolling. Leah's mom leaves at 7. Park behind the fence so she can't spot it. I immediately ran to my car because I had 10 minutes to stop whatever my son was about to do. I called Leah's dad. This is Ryan's mom. Get Leah inside and lock the doors. I think my son's about to do something terrible to your daughter. The line went dead, and I ran every red light hoping I was wrong. But when I got there, the gray van sat behind behind her fence, right where the texts promised. I heard a scream in the backyard, and I immediately sprinted for the side gate. Her dad stood in the yard with his shotgun leveled at two boys kneeling with their hands up. One of them was my son. I jumped between the barrel and my son. Wait, it was me! I called you! Let them talk! My son and his friend were both staring at something behind me, and when I turned around, the rope slipped and the sheet dropped open. One word in gold tape. Prom? There was never a kidnapping. I gasped and realized the rope was for a banner. The van was full of balloons, and the only weapon there was the one my call brought. Leah flew off the porch and grabbed Ryan's face. Yes, you idiot! Yes! Her dad lowered the shotgun and I grabbed his shoulders. Next time, lead with the balloons instead of threats. My son...
I was sprinting down the middle of the street when Turner threw himself in.
In the next minute, we have...
We're reacting to her story, not his story.
I surprised my best friend with a birth...
Yeah, let's go. Wait, let's get to another short on her story. Wait. Go to her channel. Let's go to the shorts.
The kid from next door stepped on the gas...
Oh, 1 second. Bullshit. Yeah, let's get to this. Let's get to a popular house. Can it or red, bro? Can it? Okay. Why not let? Oh, there. Let's just go to the. Let's just go over here. Yeah, this one has.
My grandma rang the bell signaling she beat cancer, but I didn't even look up from scrolling TikTok.
Beats what? I'll just go all the way down. I'll just go all the way down. Let's watch this one for 4 million views.
I was at a fancy restaurant with a boy I was looking after when a stranger walked up to our table and said, "Teach your kid some manners. He's eating like an animal." The boy was slurping spaghetti noodles with both hands, going ham and licking his fingers. But he wasn't hurting anyone, and I was sick of people telling us what to do when they didn't know the full story. He's fine. Leave us alone. The man shook his head. I'm just saying, teach your kid how to eat properly. It's nasty. The boy didn't even notice. He was too happy eating. I smiled and hoped that the rest of the meal would go smoothly. But suddenly, the stranger waved down a waiter. "Can you do something about this kid? It's very unsanitary." I couldn't believe it. I knew he was eating messy, but he didn't deserve this. The waiter walked over to our table. "Ma'am, can you have him use utensils, please? Can you just let him eat? He's not bothering anyone." The stranger cut in. "It's bothering me and ruining my evening. Who eats noodles with their hands? He's getting tomato sauce all over the tablecloth. It's disgusting." I literally didn't care about whatever they had to say. You don't know what this kid has been through. I don't care what he went through. The waiter placed a fork and knife in front of the boy. He stopped eating and stared at them. "Use these." He picked up the fork and dropped it on the floor. My heart broke because none of this was his fault. The stranger said, "Waiter, can you help him since she won't?" The waiter nodded. The waiter picked up the fork, grabbed his hand, and tried to poke the spaghetti with it. I was shocked. I yelled, "Can you leave him alone?" The boy threw the fork and knocked his plate off the table. He started crying, curled up in his chair, and buried his face in his knees. My heart broke as I went to hold him. The whole room was staring at us. I couldn't take it anymore. I stood up. This is his first real meal ever. He's a refugee. He's never used a fork in his life because he's never had a meal like this. The restaurant went dead silent, and the kitchen door swung open. The chef heard the commotion and walked out. He heard everything I said, and I thought he was about to kick us out. But then he said, "Who has a problem with this boy eating?" The stranger raised his hand. The chef pointed at the door. "Get out of my restaurant." Then the chef grabbed 2 plates of spaghetti from the kitchen and sat down next to the boy. It was so wholesome that I had to take a picture of it. A plate for him and the boy. The chef rolled up his sleeves and used his hands to eat the noodles. The boy looked up, laughed, and started eating again. I was at a fancy